Hi guys, today I'll be giving my full card predictions for UFC Fight Night, Allen versus Costa. Now before I start this, I just want to say I was literally recording this video midway, mid picks, and then I see that my mic was muted. My mic was fucking muted, bro. Midway through the picks of Cody Brundage versus Andre Petroski. Like, holy shit, man. Fuck! Holy shit. I gotta re-record this, bro. But yeah. Also, if you guys could do your boy a solid and just take the quick picks, because the timestamps will be posted below. Get the quick picks, and then if you guys could just play my video in the background with like fucking like the smallest amount of volume or whatever, it would really mean a lot to me. I do need some hours on YouTube so I can get monetized, and when I do get monetized, higher quality videos are coming. I'm telling you, higher quality videos are coming. But right now I'm in high school, so you gotta give me some break. I'm just trying to post videos for you guys because I am the best predictor in the world. Fuck. But yeah. If you guys could like and subscribe, blah blah blah, all that shit. Let's get started again. For the first fight of the prelims, we have Shauna Mama B Bannon going against Nicolle Caliari. Now, Shauna Bannon is a pretty mid fighter. She's not the greatest, but she's not the worst, I guess. Her two losses are against Sam Hughes and against no, it wasn't Ardelean. It was Bruna Brazil. Holy shit. In my opinion, two very mid losses against two fighters who we've just seen take some L's, with Sam Hughes getting dominated by Pierre Rodriguez and Bruna Brazil getting dominated by, I forgot what her name is because it's so fucking long, but this is like random black girl who she did beat at first by getting like a round 3 guillotine, and then she just lost her, which is kind of crazy. But Shauna Bannon, her main fighting style does revolve around the grappling, and if she can't get the grappling, she looks pretty mid. In the fight with the Indian Punjat Tomar, she got caught in the second round. Was looking okay in the striking. It was mostly really because Punjab Tamar wasn't like closing the distance, and Punjab Tamar's a fucking midget, by the way. But when she did close the distance and throw a right hook, Shauna Bannon just fell to the ground. She got like, fuck, bro. All right, what am I saying? But yeah, she got dropped. But even though she got dropped, Punjab Tamar, who has literally no ground game, wanted to engage in the grappling with Shauna Bannon, which is literally what Shauna Bannon wanted the entire time. And she ended up submitting her with an armbar, I'm pretty sure. And that was just a very low IQ moment from Punjab Tamar. I feel like she should have won that. She probably would have beaten Shauna Bannon if she kept doing what she did. Shauna Bannon, that entire fight was just like literally kicking the entire time, bro. She was like kind of like, she looked like fucking Mr. Miyagi out there, didn't she? Eh? She was just throwing. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it, but she was really just throwing kicks the entire time. Was just trying to keep the distance and just like I'll kind of outpoint her. And her fight against not Pierre Rodriguez, Sam Hughes, she didn't really do that. She looked mid in the striking. Sam Hughes was just beating her like everywhere. And then I don't know if she dropped her. I actually didn't rewatch that fight. I kind of forgot about it. I just remember Sam Hughes dominated her. I don't know if she dropped her, but she did ended up going to the ground with her. She ended up submitting her pretty easily. Like, pretty easily. Kind of looked like Shauna Bannon quit, which is kind of a bad look for Shauna Bannon. Fucking you OnlyFans creator. By the way, in this card, we actually have a pretty decent amount of OnlyFans creators, eh? It's kind of like the Goon card, eh? Like, I should probably put that shit in the title. The fucking UFC Goon card. Alright, bro, that was lame. My bad. But she has some pretty okay wins. One win against Alice Ardelean. Well, she did win by split decision. I think she probably won it by 29-28. Didn't watch the fight. I'll watch if I can. I don't have UFC Fight Pass. I kind of just like use my own techniques to find these fights. And if they're over like 2 years or 3 years old, like they just don't have it. If you know the site that I'm talking about, then you know ball. But if you don't, it's whatever. But yeah, if I could watch more tape, I would. But it wouldn't really matter. Her loss was against 3 years against Bruna Brazil. Bruno fucking Brazil. Bruno Brazil is fucking dog shit. She's fucking dog shit. She wasn't even good back then. She was always dog shit. She lost against Ketlen Souza. Ketlen Souza is the biggest piece of dog shit. But she's probably gonna win her next fight against fucking, is it Carol Rosa? I don't even know who's it's against. But I'm pretty sure she does have a free win. But Bruno Brazil isn't a high level fighter. We just saw her get 30-27 by this random fucking black prospect that she beat originally. Took that bitch's O and she got dominated. Oh fuck. But yeah, Shauna Bannon doesn't have the greatest losses, not the greatest wins. She's not that great of a fighter. She's not great anywhere. Her best is on the ground. She got dominated by Sam Hughes, who I'm pretty sure isn't even a grappler, mainly a striker. So yeah, she's not that impressive to me. What the fuck did I go? Oh yeah, I did go decision. Now with Nicolle Caliari, Caliari is a interesting fighter to me. She has decent striking, but I'm pretty sure her style also does revolve around the grappling because she does have some pretty nasty submissions. But against her last two fights against Ernesta Karakay and Carly Judy, she was going against two people who were much bigger than her. And in women's MMA, reach, height, and all of that does matter a lot because this is lower level fighting. So little stuff like that actually does matter. Even not really age, cause you can have like fucking 37-year-old fucking what's her name, Valentina Shevchenko beat fucking anybody. So age doesn't really matter here. What really does matter is the height and reach in lower level fights like this. Not really lower level fights, but like you know what I mean. But in her fight with Ernesta Karakay, she just got beaten on the feet. She got 29-28. She did show some life, and she did show that she could like. She has some decent striking and some good counters. Doesn't really throw the calf kick that much. So I really wish that she did. But in her fight, it was decently competitive. She wasn't able to take down Ernesta Karakay because Ernesta Karakay's fucking massive. I don't think anybody could take that fucking behemoth down. Like holy shit. She was fucking massive, but she did have a pretty good fight against Regina Taran, where she did lose. I thought she was gonna win. Because fucking nobody, Regina Taran's still undefeated, I guess. I thought she would take her O, but she didn't. And then her fight against Carly Judice, that was just a masterclass by Carly Judice. Got rocked a few times by Carly Judice, just ended up eating the shots, but in the third round, she did end up getting dropped and finished by Carly Judice. Carly Judice is actually pretty decent. She looked pretty mid against Juliana Miller, which is kind of surprising. I thought she looked a lot better. But maybe Juliana Miller's just a dog. Who knows? But that knockout win over Nicolle Caliari was impressive for me from Carly Judice. But I feel like Nicolle Caliari is still pretty decent, eh? She's pretty decent. She's not an OnlyFans creator like Shauna Bannon. I feel like she's more locked in for this fight against Shauna Bannon. I think she's low-key better than Shauna Bannon everywhere. I think she's better on the feet. I think she has better grappling. And I think she's just better everywhere. And I feel like Shauna Bannon having low fight IQ is going to struggle against Nicolle Caliari, and I think she has been relying on her size to win most of her fights because she's fucking huge for the division. She's like pretty big. Maybe Nicolle Caliari is just small, but she's been outsizing most of her wins. And against Bruno Brazil, she's got outsized Mogged and Sam Hughes. I think they're like around the same size, so I don't really know. I didn't really memorize that shit, but Nicolle Caliari is going to be around the same size. Shauna Bannon is going to look a little bigger. It doesn't really matter to me. Nicolle Caliari is the better fighter. She's better everywhere. She's more skilled. And yeah, I'm going to take Nicolle Caliari. I was originally going submission, but then I reminded myself that this is a fucking WMMA fight. A women's MMA fight, so I'm not really going to go submission. Shauna, oh, should I? She actually does have, no, she has some nasty submissions, eh? I'll go for a late round 3. No, I already went late round 3 submissions here. Fuck. I'll go round 2. Alright, yeah, that's going to be my pick. I'm going to go Caliari by round 2 submission. I don't really see this fight going to decision. No, I actually can. I actually can I? She's actually pretty small. I'm going to have to do more tape study. But I'm going to pick Caliari. I'm going to pick her by round 2 submission. In the next fight, we have Daniel Barez going against Luis Grim Gurule. Now, Luis Gurule is 0 for 3 in the UFC. Damn! Fuck. That's pretty bad, I can't lie. 0 for 3 in the UFC, and they're not against, like, the greatest people. Like, I feel like his best loss is against fucking Alden Correa. Even Alden Correa is a little bit of a fraud, eh? Just a little bit of a fraud. He's not that bad. He fights with Joshua Van. Joshua Van's main training partner. Against Ody Osborne, he looked pretty good in the first round. Was able to get a takedown against Ody Osborne, which you're supposed to do against Ody Osborne. You're not supposed to strike with Ody Osborne. That's the entire point. But in the fight in the second round against Ody Osborne, he was striking with him, and he ended up getting caught by a left hook, and then he got dropped and finished by Ody Osborne, which isn't that surprising. Ody Osborne does have power on the feet, and we saw that against his fight against Steve Erceg. But I feel like Steve Erceg's just chinny. I can't lie. I don't really put any like great value onto that. But you really shouldn't be striking with Ody Osborne. I feel like he should have initiated more wrestling in that fight so he didn't have to worry about the striking from Ody Osborne. But it was kind of a low IQ moment from Luis Gurule. Not really like a, oh shit, Ody Osborne's like a real contender type of thing, you know, if you feel me. Now, in the fight with, what's his, Jesus Aguilar put in an amazing performance against Luis Gurule. Dropped him like fucking 4 times or some shit. He rocked him so many times. And this is the main thing about Luis Gurule and the reason why I'm not gonna pick him even though I fucking spoiled my pick. He's fucking chinny, eh? Luis Gurule is one of the chinniest fighters in flyweight. And he's up there with Steve Erceg. He's up there with Steve Erceg, eh? And that was, a bad pick going against him. I feel like what's his name? Tim Elliott was sick, and that's the reason he lost. He was so gassed in that third round. The second and third round. He looked good in the first round, and he just got gassed. He even looked that gassed against Khaos, and he looked so gassed against him. That was so weird. I don't know, maybe because most stuff I was grappling. I don't know, but I did show bad cardio from Tim Elliott, even though he did go. So I'm a little tired. But yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about. But Gurule is pretty chinny. Even though he's chinny, he will push the pace. He is a pressure fighter, and he has a pretty decent cardio. Yeah, he has actually pretty good cardio. Yeah, he's pretty okay. He has good tools to be decent in the UFC. He has okay striking. Not the best striking defense. He has okay grappling. Not really a submission guy. More of a decision warrior, eh? Be Jacob Silva. 11-10 Silva. But yeah, Gurule isn't that good. He got dominated by Alden Correa. He was able to slam Alden Correa, which was kind of impressive to me, but I feel like Alden Correa isn't a grappler, so it wasn't that crazy. And he kind of got out-scrambled by Alden Correa, which was kind of crazy. Like, oh, that was kind of crazy, bro. That's kind of crazy. Like, fuck. Now, for Daniel Barez, he's a pretty good striker. Very, very fast striker. Some would say the fast striker in flyweight. I don't really think so. I feel like Odi Osborne is faster than him, but he's a pretty fast striker, and he has some power in his hands. He has that round one knockout power, and that does matter against Gurule, because Gurule is susceptible on the feet, and he's chinny. He is very, very chinny. And you can't be chinny when you're going against someone like Daniel Barez, who has heat in his hands. Almost knocked out Jafel Filo, and then Jafel Filo showed some life in that round and was able to take it to the ground and submit Daniel Barez. There could be a live submission for Gurule. I don't really see it. And against Victor Altamirano, I'm gonna say it up straight. I didn't watch this fight. I watched this fight and this fight because this was like a 2-minute video. It was like it was on YouTube. Of course I could watch it. But against Victor Altamirano, I couldn't watch it. Pardon me. I couldn't watch it, so I don't really know. But I do know Victor Altamirano is a pretty big fighter. I'm gonna do a little more research on this. See if Daniel Barez did any takedowns or if it was primarily a striking fight. If it was primarily striking and he did 30... No, I think he like 29-28 in him. I think I remember this. I think he like 29-28 in him. He does fade in the third round, which is kind of bad. And against Gurule, that's not really that good because Gurule is going to push the pace. And this is going to be an interesting fight where I feel like if Daniel Barez doesn't take out Gurule early, it could be a problem. It really, really could be a problem. And I actually could see this being a split decision. In his fight against, what's his name? Andre Lima, he kind of got dominated pretty easily. Got beaten on the feet, got beaten in the grappling. He was just beaten everywhere. And Daniel Barez, in my opinion, his age is getting to him, eh? 37 years old, the age is getting to him. That is one thing I do worry about him. Because, in my opinion... if you're not a high-level fighter like Cub Swanson, Charles Oliveira, or someone who's actually like a really, really high-level fighter... age is gonna take its toll on you, and you're not gonna look that good, in my opinion. That's just my thing off of what I've usually been betting on. If you're not a high level fighter, and you're very old, then you're not gonna be that good in my eyes. And I don't know if Daniel Barez is a high level fighter. It's flyweight. Kyoji Horiguchi. I think Kyoji Horiguchi is younger than you, eh? That's kind of why I was skeptical to go with Kyoji Horiguchi against Amir Albazi, but I still went with him because he's the GOAT. Cash me on 2K on God. What a fast sequence, but Daniel Barez is a fast striker. I think he can catch Gurule, and I think that is the main thing that you do need to be Gurule. I think you do need to be a fast striker. And Daniel Barez is that. He's a fast striker with power, kind of like Odi Osborne, but he's a little smaller than Odi Osborne. But I still feel like he's going to be able to close the distance. I think he's going to get to the chin of Gurule. I think he's going to drop him at least once. Like, if there's like a play to get like over or under 1.5, over 1.5 or 0.5 drop, like knockdowns, like that's so live right now. That is extremely live. Daniel Barez has a pretty good chin. Didn't get knocked out against fucking Andre Lima, which is pretty impressive. I thought he was going to get knocked out. A lot of people are going decision. I don't really hate it. He survived against Alden Correa, but Alden Correa isn't really a high-paced striker. So is Daniel Barez. Daniel Barez actually has more power, in my opinion, than Alden Correa. So yeah, I'm gonna go Daniel Barez. I'm gonna go Daniel Barez by round 2 KO. I think he'll find the chin of Gurule eventually, and when he does find the chin of Gurule is gonna get dropped. He's gonna try to go for some lame ass fucking wrestling like last minute scared shit. I don't think it'll work against Danny Barez. Danny Barez has decent grappling. I think he's surviving so Luis Gurule, and I'm gonna pick him by round 2 KO. Now for the next fight we have Alice Ardelean going against Polyana, Dama, DeFero, Viana. These are two OnlyFans creators, bro. These are two OnlyFans creators. Like, who gives a shit who wins this shit, alright? You feel me? You feel me? Like, who really cares who wins here? Alice Ardelean, fucking Shibai. Oh, I need to check something. I'll check it later. Alice Ardelean, primarily a boxer, pretty good striking. Can incorporate the wrestling when she needs to, but she doesn't really lean to it that much. In the last fight, she went against two small. Hear what I mean. Small strawweights. In Raya dos Santos and Montserrat Cornejo. Like, you expect me to remember these names? I watched the fights, but you expect me to remember these names? Yeah, I'm not really memorizing that shit. But she beat two people who were much smaller than her. Beat them pretty well. Was an underdog against Raya dos Santos. Don't know why. Raya dos Santos is dog shit. So was Alice Ardelean, and people are starting to forget that after two mid-wins, eh? She got dominated by Shauna Bannon. It was a 29-28. You can't convince me. And she got beaten by Melissa Martinez. Actually, I didn't watch that fight with Shauna Bannon. I'll watch it later. But if it's a split decision, it's probably fucking Shauna Bannon by fucking domination. Probably 29-28. Oh, no. With Viana, we already know a lot about her. She's a good striker with good submissions on her back, and she has nasty submissions. We already know that. She has some decent striking. She has good power on the feet, and we saw that in a few of her fights. She has like 4 round 1 knockouts. So she's dangerous on the feet. And kind of like Nikolay Veretennikov, or like anybody who has decent striking, if you're good at striking, the main thing that your opponents will do is grapple with you, and that's what's been happening. She's been getting grapple fucked against Lasmin Lucindo. I don't really watch this. She probably got grapple fucked. Tabitha Ritchie, high level fighter, lost. Jordan Robson, high level fighter, high level grappler as well, lost. Wasn't really a TKO. She didn't get knocked out. And Jacqueline Amarin, high level grappler, she lost. She's been going against high level grapplers, and those are her kryptonite. It's just a fact. Those are the people that can beat Polyana Viana. You need to grapple against Polyana Viana to beat her. And even when you do grapple against Polyana Viana, you have to watch out for the submissions, because she does have high level submissions. Now, whenever I do research for these fights, I usually do like to go into Instagram to see how locked in or active the fighters are. And when I went on both of these OnlyFans creators, guess what I saw? Fucking OnlyFans promo. Mainly from Polyana Viana. Holy shit. Does she promote that shit like it's her fucking birthright, eh? Let me stop leaning back. I don't want to give you a shit audio. But yeah, she was really like promoting so much OnlyFans, not really promoting her fight. She like showed one photo of her in the gym, and it was with a OnlyFans crop top, which I guess, yeah, sure, promote your thing, make your bag, but still, I would have liked to see more locked in from her, like ready to fight, but we really didn't see anything for that. And Alice Ardelean didn't really have that much. She actually had some decent highlights that she showed, like one video and like one photo with her and Chidi and Shkwani. Like, the fuck, who gives a shit? Chidi and Shkwani's dog shit. I hope there's like a curse out there where anybody who actually takes a picture with fucking Chidi and Shkwani just loses their next fight. But yeah, Polyana Viana is not that good, but so is Alice Ardelean. I'm like 82% of people. This should be like 50-50, honestly, bro. Both of them are both fucking dog shit. And if Polyana Viana gets dominated, then well, bad pick for me. Who gives a shit? But I actually see Polyana Viana beating her. I think in the striking, Alice Ardelean is more technical, but I feel like Polyana Viana is the more dangerous striker. I feel like that's why most people do try to take her to the ground, because she's dangerous on the feet. She has real round one knockout power. And against Alice Ardelean, who's actually pretty durable, I think she might be able to find the late round knockout if Alice Ardelean can't take her down. And even if Alice Ardelean does take her down, Polyana Viana is a high level grappler. Not really high level grappler. She has good submissions on her back. And in the fight with Jacqueline Amarin, she looked pretty decent for a moment when she was able to get full guard and throw elbows to the head of Amarim, kind of how like the Korean Silva style that actually won her the fight against Gina Barbosa, even though I don't think she won that fight. She kind of got dominated in my opinion. But Alice Ardelean isn't that good on the ground. Even if she gets the takedowns, it really showed in her Instagram things. She's not really preparing for a grappling match. I think she's really preparing for a striking match. And if she does see that she's getting beat on the feet, and she probably will get the takedowns, she's not going to look that great on the ground. I think Polyana is actually like better on the ground and is going to be better on her back. My personal opinion after watching these tapes. Literally, I only watched this fight. I can't lie. I couldn't find these videos. They're like 3 years ago, and the website I used that like give me free fucking thing to watch old fights. Like if it's over 2 to 3 years, like it's not there. So I kind of struggle to find these when I don't have UFC Fight Pass. So don't blame me if I can't watch some of these fights, like the fucking Shauna Bannon one, and this one. I actually no. Could I? No, that was only a year. Could I find the fight? I'll see. But yeah, Ardelean isn't that good to me. Viana isn't that good. She was on a 3 losing streak before, but ended up getting a miracle win. I think she'll get another miracle win here. I don't see her going on a 4 losing streak. She might go 13-9, and Ardelean goes 12-7. But I more see 11-8 from Ardelean and Viana going into 14-8. So yeah, give me Polyana Viana by round 3 submission. I think Ardelean is gonna go for a desperate takedown. She's gonna get it, but I think she might get reversed actually by Viana. I think even on her back she's dangerous. I feel like she might get submitted. And I don't think her ground game's that good, so I am going to lean towards Viana for that reason, and I'm going to go with her by submission. Now, for this next fight, we have Andre Petroski going against Cody Brundage. See how I said Brundage? Because he's a bum! Now, Cody Brundage, decent striker, okay wrestler, not that great anyway. Has had 2 decent performances against Cam Rawson and Eric McConico. Eric McConico getting a dub over Rodolfo Vieira, who we now know officially, he's fucking dog shit. The only reason I picked him in that position is because he did beat Tresean Gore. Tresean Gore wasn't striking as much, so I probably should have seen that. That was my bad. But he has some real round 1 knockout power. He was landing some pretty clean shots against Cam Rawson, and rocked Cam Rawson at least like once, if I'm not wrong. But in the fight against Deontay Johnson, almost frauded Deontay Johnson. And even a split against Deontay Johnson is like a fraud in its own. And if you guys watched the fight with Deontay Johnson, after like the fight was done, Deontay Johnson the entire time was just shaking his head being like, fuck man, I looked ass, bro. I looked dog shit, bro. Like that was kind of the feeling he was getting. He felt like it was just kind of a sad look. He kind of realized that he's not UFC level. He's not that good. Going to split decision with someone who was 11-8 and then made him 11-9. It was just a bad look for him, and he even knew it. He knew he didn't fight well. So yeah, I don't know what you really want me to say here. Andre Petroski, one of the chinniest middleweights in the division. He's up there with Marco Tulio, eh? Marco Tulio, I knew he was chinny. I didn't think he was that chinny. He did end up getting caught by Roman Kopylov. His chin was up there in the air, and it was just there for Roman Kopylov to get the knockout. If he didn't get knocked out, that was an easy 30-27 for him, like I predicted, but fuck it, he got caught. Didn't end up getting submitted, which was good because I had an over 2.5 for that, and it did cash me out. God bless. Fucking love Roman Kopylov. But Andre Petroski is probably chinnier. He actually probably is chinnier than Marco Tulio, because Marco Tulio can actually eat some sauce. Andre Petroski is chinny. Somehow didn't get knocked out by Edmund Shabazian, but he did get knocked out by Cam Rawson. By the way, the knockout against Cam Rawson was like the lightest tap to the temple of the head I've ever seen. It was the most embarrassing knockout ever. I couldn't even see how he got knocked out. It was so quick and so embarrassing. I couldn't even see how he got knocked out. He got a win over against Rodolfo Vieira, shit striker, mid grappler, whatever, dog shit. He beat Dylan Budka. His main win is just the West Schultz win. West Schultz is dog shit. No offense to West Schultz. I don't even think you watch my videos, but you're dog shit. And his win over Joshua. I'm like, who are these people? Who the fuck are these people? Fuck it, I'll take Cody Brundage to be all of them. Maybe not Rodolfo Vieira, because I do remember Rodolfo Vieira beating Cody Brundage. But I would take 99% of them to lose against Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage has real round 1 knockout power, and against Andre Petroski, you do need that. And in my opinion, I feel like this could go in the same way of Castillo Vancinas versus Fabian Edwards 2, where Castillo Vancinas in the 3rd round, where Fabian Edwards tried to grapple with him, and Castillo Vancinas was getting nasty elbows to the temple of Fabian Edwards, and Fabian Edwards just like got knocked out by that, which was like one of the nastiest knockouts I've ever seen. It was insane. I actually want to rewatch that now. It was actually crazy. That was such a good parlay for me. But I feel like Cody Brundage could do the same thing with Andre Petroski, where he tries to take him down, but he just ends up throwing nasty elbows to the temple of Andre Petroski, where we've seen be like the main area where Andre Petroski kind of gets rocked from, eh? And I feel like Cody Brundage has some decent IQ. I think he will strike the head, and I think he probably will get the knockout. Andre Petroski isn't that impressive to me. So is Cody Brundage. He's obviously dog shit. But if I had to pick, if I had to pick someone, I'd probably pick Cody Brundage, just because Andre Petroski has okay striking. He's capable, but if Cody Brundage did what he did against Cam Rowson and just run at him, I think he probably could get the early round one knockout. And I'm gonna go with Cody Brundage. I'm gonna go Cody Brundage by round 2 KO. I just can't pick someone who's as shitty as Andre Petroski. And even if he does get to the ground, like, it'll be interesting. And this will be an interesting matchup. I can't lie. I feel like this is like the best opportunity for Andre Petroski. I think he could actually knock out. No, for Cody Brundage, I think he actually could knock out Andre Petroski. He's so bad, bro. Andre Petroski's so bad. Even though he is coming off of 2 high-level losses, like, imagine he lost to Cody Brundage, eh? And it's possible. It really, really is possible. Oh, bro, I don't want to get a pick wrong, though. I actually don't. Fuck, man. If he just did it against Cam Rowson, I think he wins this pretty easily. It's just going to depend on his takedown defense. We're going to see. I'm going to go with Cody Brundage. I'm going to go with Cody Brundage by round 2 knockout just because Artur is one of the chinniest fuckers I've ever seen. Woo! For the next fight, we have Ketlen Phenomenal Vieira going against Cavalcanti. You have a hard ass name to fucking say. Now, Cavalcanti has been on a pretty decent streak. She's 10-1. Her only loss was a split decision early in her career, and in her 2 wins against Nora Cornell and Josiah Nunes, those are 2 interesting wins because I think she did beat them pretty well, like 29-28, and I think it would look better if it was like a UD. And Nora Cornell isn't that bad, eh? She beat Jocelyn Edwards and then actually gave a competitive first round against Jocelyn Edwards, was beating her. And she ended up getting slammed and breaking her shoulder and couldn't fight anymore. So she's not that bad, actually. She's actually pretty decent. But after those 2, not losses, but poor performances, she's been looking like very high level. 30-27 Julia Avila and 30-27 Mayra Bueno Silva, which we know Mayra Bueno Silva's dog shit, but 30-27 by like obvious domination is pretty good. She has some really good feints. She'll put the pressure. She'll throw the calf kick. She'll throw the striking, and she's pretty accurate. So yeah, she's pretty good on the striking. Her grappling is a little suspect. I'm gonna be real. And going against Kelly Vieira, that's gonna be a little interesting. If I'm gonna be real, Kelly Vieira, a pretty good grappler and some decent striking, eh? She was looking competitive in the first round against Roman Dumas in the striking. Did end up losing by split decision. You could argue that she won off of damage. It's whatever. Against Macy Chiasson, she was able to. She actually beat Macy Chiasson everywhere. She was much better on the feet, and she was much better in the grappling. This was just easy money on Kelly Vieira. Against Kayla Harrison, she was competitive. She got like 1 round off of her and then lost. But in my opinion, Kayla Harrison's kind of a fraud. Got a win over Penny Kenzad and lost to Raquel Pennington. Now, I do see a path to victory for Kelly Vieira. If Kelly Vieira could throw some strikes, get to the grappling fast, and take down Cavalcanti, I can see her winning. It wouldn't even be a bad pick to pick Kelly Vieira. And I would if Cavalcanti looked bad in her last few fights. But she hasn't. She's been looking pretty dominant. And she's been looking pretty good. She looks like she has pretty high IQ. She doesn't really like stress that much in the cage. She has pretty good cardio. She has pretty good everything. She's just a good fighter overall. And I feel like that is the main reason why I'm picking her. I feel like she is just not levels, but I feel like she actually is a pretty good contender. If I did see some holes in her fights, I would have addressed them, but I didn't really see anything that crazy. She can get taken down though, and that is a little scary going against Kelly Vieira, and I could see this being a split. Honestly, putting this fight on a split wouldn't even be a bad idea, and that's probably like really good odds. But I'm gonna go Cavalcanti, and I'm gonna go Cavalcanti by decision. I feel like this is a guaranteed decision. I don't think she'll knock her out or submit her. I think this is a pretty good over or fight goes to the distance. Yeah, pretty interesting pick. I can see it going with Kelly Vieira. I just feel like Cavalcanti's striking, the striking difference is just too big for Cavalcanti. But yeah. Now for the next fight, we have Tommy Gantt going against Artur Miniev. Artur Headhunter Miniev. Now, Artur has the nickname Headhunter for a reason. He has insane knockouts, and he has really good knockout power. But Tommy Gantt Holy shit, was he impressive in his fucking Contender Series fight against Adam Livingston? And you would think against a 6-0 prospect, since he was fighting a lot of bumps on the regional scene, like hella bumps. You would think that Adam Livingston would like give a competitive fight. Nope. Adam, you did not. Adam was kind of cheating as well. He was like holding the cage, preventing Tommy Gantt from getting like clean takedowns. But he did end up taking him down, and he ended up getting a quick submission, like easy submission. And by a dominant one like that is it's impressive to me. And we haven't really seen his chin problems. He's pretty decent on the feet. I wasn't able to watch that much tape, but he's capable on the feet. He's a high level wrestler, and the main reason why I am gonna be going with him is because he's being coached by DC. And if you're being coached by DC, like brother, I think I have to pick you, eh? DC has some aura with him, kind of like the Imanol Rodriguez, where I knew he was coaching Imanol Rodriguez, and I knew Imanol Rodriguez wasn't the greatest, even though he is undefeated. Did lose against Joseph Morales, even though some people would argue he won. He's just a great coach, and he's like a 2 division champ. And you just like anybody that actually trains with him, like anybody that he sees potential in, I just feel like are actually pretty good. We don't really know the reach we know the height of Artur Miniev. We don't know the reach, so I'm gonna guess that Tommy Gann has the height and reach advantage. He is older, much older probably than Artur Miniev. But I feel like Tommy Gann's actually pretty good. And I think he'll get the submission. I think it'll be like a round 1 or round 2 submission. I'll give Artur Miniev like some credit because he is undefeated. I'll give it like a round fucking 2 submission, but I could see Tommy Gann getting submission. I think the submission here is live for him. I think it's pretty good. I don't see him going to decision here. He's finished basically everybody. He's never gone to decision. Maybe probably once, but most of the time he hasn't gone to decision, and he's a pretty high level fighter. Being coached by DC, DC sees some potential in him. Even though he is 33, that's like decently young. It's not. That's pretty old, but we see other people who are as high level him like. I think he's a high level fighter. I can't lie. That's why I'm the main reason I'm picking him. I think he's a high level fighter. I think the value on Trey Ogden was there. I think that was easy money. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Tommy Gann. I'm kind of like tired of talking because I was recording the other fight. And I was taking my sweet time with that, and I kind of like I don't know. Whatever. I'm gonna go Tommy Gann. I'm gonna go Tommy Gann by round 2 submission just because he's a high level grappler and he's being coached by DC. All right. Next time we have Tuco Tokkos going against Ivan Erslan. Now, if you do look at their last 5 fights, it looks like an easy underdog pick for Tuco Tokkos. And I can't blame you. 1-4. Holy shit. Holy fuck. But if you look at his losses, they're actually pretty decent. Even Kutalaba, who we just saw kill Umar Sai, pretty decent loss. Lost against Navajo Sterling. Had a much more competitive fight with Navajo Sterling than Tuco Tukos. Tuco Tukos almost got knocked out like 4 times by the decision king in Navajo Sterling. Holy shit. And he was beating Jimmy Crew in the first round. Like, he was pushing the pace, and then he got overzealous and did end up getting taken down and submitted. And I feel like that's the only way he loses against Tuco Tokkos. I feel like Tuco Tokkos needs to take down Ivan Erslan. And if he doesn't take down Ivan Erslan, it's going to be a boxing massacre from Ivan Erslan. I can see a round 2 KO, maybe even round 1 KO by Ivan Erslan. He lost to Umar Sai by round 1 submission. Holy shit, it's Umar Sai. And he got dominated by Navajo Sterling. It was not a competitive fight. It was domination by Navajo Sterling. But in the fight with Ivan Erslan and Navajo Sterling, he was much more competitive. He was actually getting some pretty good shots on Navajo Sterling. Even though he almost did get knocked out in the 3rd round, he isn't the most durable fighter, and like that really isn't impressive to me. But Tuco Tokkos is chinny, bro. He's chinny. And in the fight with his win over Junior Tafa, I think he actually did get chinned. Junior Tafa is a decent striker. He's a high level kickboxer, but he's not, in my opinion, as accurate. Not as accurate as Ivan Erslan, who is at a reach and a height disadvantage here. But I feel like he's just the more accurate striker, and against Navajo Sterling, he was able to find his reach, and I feel like against Tuco Tukos, he will be able to find his reach, and as long as he doesn't get overzealous and doesn't get taken down or like get like trigger happy, I think he should win this pretty comfortably, and I think he'll get a round 2 KO over Tuco Tokkos, and I think this will be a pretty heavy finishing card in my opinion. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ivan Erslan. He's a very precise striker. And I think he will find the shots on Tuco Tokkos and maybe even get a round. I'm gonna go round 1 knockout. I'm gonna go round 1 knockout for Ivan Erslan. I think he's a very accurate striker. And I think the amount of power he has in those strikes, I think he'll be able to knock out Tuco Tokkos. Holy shit! All right, for the next fight we have Nikolay Gladiator Veretennikov going against Khaos the Ox Fighter Williams. Now this is interesting because now we have two primary strikers that don't grapple at all. Nikolay Veretennikov, you are from Kazakhstan. He doesn't grapple. Khaos Williams doesn't grapple. So this is just gonna be a primarily striking fight, and it's gonna be a pretty decent fight. This card is actually pretty underrated. There's some pretty good fights. This is a pretty good fight. This is actually a pretty good fight. This is a pretty good fight. This is actually a pretty good fight. This is gonna be an interesting fight. This is gonna be a mid fight. This is gonna be a good fight. This is gonna be shit. But actually, has some pretty. This is an underrated like Vegas fight card. It's actually a pretty good card in my opinion. But Nikolay Veretennikov is a high level striker. He's a dangerous striker, and that's why in his losses he literally just got wrestle fucked every single time. He didn't get knocked out by Austin Vanderford. It was an early stoppage, in my opinion. And against Danny Barlow, I think he did do enough to beat Danny Barlow. And Danny Barlow is, in my opinion, a little bit of a fraud because he did lose against Jordan Santos. He almost got knocked out by Jordan Santos, but I'm going to have to see if I can rewatch that fight. It was like fucking 3 years ago, so give me a second. Sorry, pardon me. I don't know what I was doing. I was yapping to my grandma. Where was I? Who gives a shit? I'm gonna pick Nikolay Veretennikov by round 3 KO. I think the clinch knees of Nikolay Veretennikov is gonna give problems to Khaos Williams, and it did show against his fight with Andreas Gustafsson. He didn't look that good. Gustafsson's not that good. He's gonna get killed by Daniel Jonchenko. The only thing that Andre Gustafsson did was just run at him and get some takedowns, and Nikolay Veretennikov's gonna do the same thing, but he's not gonna get takedowns. He's just gonna beat him on the feet. He's a decent striker, and the one time we saw him going against someone where he wasn't getting grappled, he fucked the shit out of him. And it is Nico Price, but Francisco Prado, he was beating the shit out of the feet. He is a short reach fighter, but he's beating the shit out of him on the feet. And he almost lost that because the fucking shitter was like throwing spinning back kicks and he was getting taken down like an idiot. He doesn't have to worry about that against Khaos Williams. He's gonna look pretty good in here. He's gonna get the win, but who gives a shit? Khaos Williams isn't even that good. I might make this my play of the week though. We'll see. Now for the next fight, we have Timmy Twilight Cuamba going against Benardo, the Lion King Sopaj. This is one of the closest fights on the cards for me. I think this is the closest fight on the card for me because I'm really split between Timmy Cuamba and Bernardo Sopaj. Because we have Timmy Cuamba, a pretty good all-around fighter, some slick striking. The only problem with him is that he's a little too low output and he doesn't throw as many feints as I would like him to. If he threw more feints and was more active on the feet, even more than he already was, I feel like he would look so much better and would be much more dangerous in the bantamweight division. Now, Sopaj is a very small bantamweight. He really should probably be like a flyweight. Honestly, he actually probably should be a flyweight. But he isn't. He's fighting at bantamweight, and he looked pretty good in his fight against Vinicius Oliveira until he got insane knockout against Vinicius Oliveira with a flying knee. And against Ricky Turcios, he beat him pretty easily, 30-27. But Ricky Turcios isn't that high level. I feel like against Timmy Cuamba, Bernardo Sopaj isn't going to be able to implement some of the things he can. He's a primary striker. He doesn't really grapple, but if he needs to, he can. And I feel like in the grappling department, I am going to give the slight advantage to Timmy Cuamba because we did see in his fight with Chang Ho Lee, he did show pretty good fight IQ where he saw that Chang Ho Lee was kind of wobbled or whatever, blah blah blah. He was able to actually out grapple Chang Ho Lee, which is pretty impressive. He's a high level grappler. To out grapple someone like that, it's just pretty good in my opinion. So I think the grappling department, Timmy Cuamba does have the advantage. And I think in the striking, you have to give the slight advantage to Timmy Cuamba. Bernardo Sopaj looked amazing against Ricky Turcios, but Ricky Turcios was just dog shit. He's not that high level of fighter. And I think Timmy Cuamba, if he tries to close the distance against Bernardo Sopaj, I think if Bernardo Sopaj tries to close the distance against Timmy Cuamba, Timmy Cuamba has those really sharp elbows that he likes to implement. He has really slick striking. He has good counters. And I feel like it's going to be more Bernardo Sopaj pushing the pace and him getting countered by Timmy Cuamba. And I feel like if he tries to even shoot for a takedown or try to do some insane level changes, I think it's just going to be more on the side of Timmy Cuamba. Yeah, but this is a pretty close fight. I actually don't really know. I guess I could see anybody winning here. I can't lie. But with the height and reach advantage, I'm giving this slight lean to Timmy Cuamba. If Bernardo Sopaj was a little more work ethic, I would probably go with him. I think this is a decision. I don't think anybody will get knocked out or submitted. That knockout was pretty crazy. By the way, Timmy Cuamba does throw insane knees, so we could see another knee knockout loss against Bernardo Sopaj. But I think Bernardo Sopaj is actually, he has amazing distance management. He doesn't really get hit that much, but when he does, he throws like 3 to 4 more strikes later. Holy shit, I might have to edit this fucking video. The amount of times I've paused, eh? But I'm gonna go with Timmy Cuamba by decision. I think he has Bernardo Sopaj beaten slightly in the striking. I think he has better grappling than him. I think just the reach and height advantage is going to play dividends to Timmy Cuamba, but I can't see Bernardo Sopaj closing the distance. But if he closes the distance, like those 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 elbows from Timmy Cuamba are gonna hit and they're gonna land and they're gonna land well. They're gonna cut up Bernardo Sopaj's face and it's just not gonna be a good look for me. I think this is gonna be a dog fight. And I'm gonna go with slight lean with Timmy Cuamba, decent underdog, but not like play of the week underdog, but like not crazy confidence. Alright, for the next fight we have Modestas, the Baltic Gladiator Bukauskas going against Christian Payne Edwards. Bro, do I even need to like say anything for this? Like anything? I don't really need. I don't think I'm not even gonna say anything. Last minute. Uh, Modestas Bukauskas was supposed to fight Rodolfo Bellotto. Rodolfo Bellotto ended up withdrawing. And then we have Christian Edwards, high level grappler, not really high level, but a grappler going against Marquez Bukauskas, who has decent takedown defense and is showing against Ian Cutelaba. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. He's a low-level fighter. Modestas isn't. He's a decent high-level fighter. Give me Modestas by decision, blah, blah, blah. All right. Now we have Malcolm the Machine Wellmaker going against Juan Pegasus Diaz. That you should change your name to that, buddy. Yeah, what am I saying? I don't got aura. What am I trying to do? But Juan Diaz had a pretty good knockout win in his fight against Juan Tu Quan. But that fucker really just had zero head movement and just wanted to get knocked out, honestly. And Malcolm Wellmaker did get a recent loss against Ethan Ewing, who's a really high-level fighter. And people don't really remember the fight, but if you actually rewatch the fight, Malcolm Wellmaker did have some moments, and it was, in my opinion, a competitive fight, but obviously Ethan Ewing did win most of the rounds. But it was a decently competitive fight, and it's not like he got dominated, kind of like the Rafael Esteban. But even though Rafael Esteban, in my opinion, I want you guys to listen to this. Rafael Esteban at the start of the fight was having great success. Like for the first like 2.5, he was having great success, beating Ethan Ewing in the striking, landing some pretty good strikes, and then he got hit in the nuts. And then Ethan Ewing, after hurting his fucking kids, he was like, "Brother, I can't fight anymore." And then he just couldn't strike with him anymore because he ruined his tempo. The piece of shit. Well, bro, watch if against Farid Basra, if Ethan Ewing starts to lose in the striking on, bro, I could almost put this on my life, but I will guarantee that he goes for the nuts just to ruin the tempo of Javid Basra. I will almost like he'll do it once, but he won't do it twice because he's a smart fighter. He'll do it once, but he won't. Like he'll make sure he doesn't do it twice so he doesn't get a point deduction. But fuck, bro, what a fucking cheating bastard, eh? He didn't have to do it against Malcolm Wellmaker, I think. I need to rewatch the fight. But what a cheating bastard! I feel like Esteban actually could have won that. That wasn't even a bad pick by me. I might be coping, but who gives a shit? But really got a really good loss against fucking Ethan Ewing. But in that fight, he was really looking for that right hook that he was able to get against Cameron Saman. Fucking Adam Braham, Chris Matinho, who actually has an okay chin, was able to survive a little bit against Sugar Sean. But Malcolm Wellmaker, he's a high level fighter. He really is. And going against Juan Diaz, who isn't a high level fighter, this is amazing money for Malcolm Wellmaker, and he might be play of the week. I can't lie. Because play of the week should really just be like the lock, eh? The lock of the week. Who knows? But I'm going Malcolm Wellmaker, and I'm gonna go by knockout. Juan Diaz is susceptible on the feet. He's a little smaller than Malcolm Wellmaker. Malcolm Wellmaker is going to look a lot bigger. And I'm going to go for a late round 3 knockout for Malcolm Wellmaker. Nah, fuck, I'm going decision. He's not that chinny. Juan Diaz actually has a pretty good chin. I'm going to go for Wellmaker by decision. He's just the better fighter. There's nothing really to analyze here. I'm going to watch some of Juan Diaz's fights. But I'm going to go Malcolm Wellmaker by decision. And if he loses this, he's officially a fraud. But he had some pretty good moments against Ethan Ewing. Now, for the next fight, we have Ho, the Korean Superboy Choi, going against Daniel, the Willie Cat Santos. His real nickname should be the fucking Korean Killer, eh? Holy shit. The way he just marauds and kills these, like, Koreans is crazy. Got a really good win over a high-level fighter in Ju Song Yu, who was beating him hard on the feet. Like, those calf kicks that Daniel Santos was eating were insane. He was getting beaten pretty hard. And this is going to be a really good fight, by the way. This is a very good co-main. I like this fight a lot. Lost against Julio Ars by, I don't even know, it was 4 years ago. John Cascaneda was losing against John Cascaneda, but then ended up getting the knockout. He has some pretty good hands, and he's a very, very fast striker. Daniel Santos will throw like 20 combos in one like set. 20 shots in one combo. It's insane. He's a very fast striker. Johnny Munoz Jr. didn't watch that one. And these two fights I did rewatch. Against Jung Young Lee, he did end up getting cracked. He ended up getting caught, and then got rocked in that first round, but he was able to recover very well and was able to actually win back the round according to the judges' scorecards, because he was just able to push any crazy pace against Jung Young Lee. Now against Ju Song Yu, he wasn't able to push that crazy pace like he did against Jung Young Lee, and he was actually getting beat pretty hard on the feet by Ju Song Yu. But in that second round, he was able to push the pace like he usually does, and he was able to find that nasty shot where he was just throwing like crazy hooks, and one of them ended up connecting on the chin of Ju Song Yu and ended up dropping him, and he was able to get the early round 2 finish, which is pretty impressive. Now, Do Ho Choi has been looking amazing recently. He looks so good recently. He looks like renewed and rejuvenated. He just looks amazing, eh? I feel like Do Ho Choi is in his prime. I feel like he's been looking the best, and I feel like he's at a pretty good training camp for this fight. I actually did go on his Instagram, like I told you guys, I go on people's Instagrams to study their fights, and I was actually pretty impressed by Do Ho Choi. Has some pretty fast hands. He's gonna be pretty decent as long as he doesn't get overwhelmed by the pressure by Daniel Santos. He should win this pretty easily. He should win this fight against Daniel Santos pretty easily because this is a bad matchup for Daniel Santos. I feel like the calf kicks are there for Do Ho Choi. I feel like he's the taller, stronger fighter. As long as he doesn't get flustered by the strikes from Daniel Santos, but I don't think he will. I think he should win this pretty calmly. I think this is going to be a really dogfight, and I think someone is going to get knocked out. Someone's getting knocked out. And I think Do Ho Choi is going to get knocked out. I think he's going to get the late round 3 knockout against Daniel Santos, who does have a pretty good chin, but we've seen him get rocked a few times. And if we're going against someone against Do Ho Choi who has pretty good power, you have to watch out. And we've seen Daniel Santos be susceptible on the feet. He's hittable, and he kind of relies on his flurries and his combinations to save him and not get knocked out. But I don't think that'll be able to work against Do Ho Choi. If he does beat Do Ho Choi, he's the Korean killer. He's the marauder. He's that fucking guy, but I don't think he will. I think Do Ho Choi is going to get a late round knockout against Daniel Santos. I think Daniel Santos might go for some desperate takedowns against Do Ho Choi, but Do Ho Choi in his fight against Nate Landwehr showed that he actually has some pretty decent grappling. He's evolved his fighting style, and he's a pretty good all-around fighter. He's not only a striker, and he showed that he is in his prime, and if he wins this, he's going to be a pretty good contender in the featherweight division. Give me Do Ho Choi by a round 3 knockout. Fuck! Whew! And for the main event, we have Arnold Almighty Allen going against Malkozil the Dalmatian Costa. Now, Malkozil Costa, in his last fight against Dan Ige, looked extremely impressive. He did kind of, in my opinion, get an accidental knockout against Dan Ige because Dan Ige kind of leaned into that kick. And he did end up eating that and getting knocked out. But Daniel Malkozil Costa is primarily a decision fighter. And the main reason why I'm picking the GOAT, Arnold Allen, to win this by decision is because Malkozil Costa looks horrible whenever he goes against pressure boxers. And that is the literal definition of Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen is a pressured boxer, and he made Julian Orosa look like fucking Mike Tyson. He made Christian Rodriguez look like Mike Tyson. Morgan Sherrier and Danny are not pressure fighters. Danny a little bit, but he wasn't able to do anything. They are not pressure fighters, and I don't think Arnold Allen is gonna be scared of the knockout power from Malkozil Costa. I think he's gonna push the pace on Malkozil Costa. I think he's gonna get a shit. He's not really a knockout type of guy, even though he throws hard punches. But I think Arnold Allen is a nightmare matchup for Malkozil Costa. I think it's a nightmare matchup. It's a horrible matchup for him. They're pretty even everywhere. It's kind of a mirror matchup. 2-inch height advantage for Malkozil Costa, 1-inch reach advantage. Arnold Allen is a horrible match for him. This should not be a fight. This is not good for Malkozil Costa. Arnold Allen has high-level losses, had a decently competitive fight against Gene Silva, had a decent fight against Max Holloway and Evloev, which he arguably beat. He arguably beat Evloev. People forget that. He arguably beat Evloev. Like, come on, let's remember this, bro. If he beat Evloev, he'd probably have a fucking title fight right now. He probably wouldn't have fought Gene Silva. Maybe he actually probably would have, but who knows? But I like Arnold Allen in this. I like the -175. But I need better value. I'm trying to see if this is the play of the week. But he's I think this is like near a lock. I think Arnold Allen is levels above Malkozil Costa. I think this is a bad match for Malkozil Costa. And I don't like Malkozil Costa in this spot. I much rather Arnold Allen in this spot. I think Arnold Allen is going to look good everywhere. I don't think Costa is going to do anything to him. If this stays on the striking, I think Arnold Allen is going to beat him pretty easily. Malkozil Costa, I'm not really sure if he is a grappler, because he was able to get a pretty early submission over Andre Fili. But I'm gonna have to see if he is a grappler. I'm able to watch all of these fights because they are pretty recent. He's a very active fighter. I didn't really do any tape study for this, but I do know that I do remember these 2 fights against Julian Erosa and Christian Rodriguez, and he didn't look the greatest. He didn't look as dominant in this fight against Morgan Sherrier and Dan Ige. And I don't think he's gonna do that to fucking Arnold Allen. Like, let's calm our tits, eh? Let's calm our fucking tits, bro. He's not doing that shit to Arnold Allen, alright? So I'm gonna pick Arnold Allen. I'm gonna pick him by round 4 KO because Arnold Allen does pack a punch. Even though he doesn't really get that many knockouts, this doesn't really count as a knockout. He's not really a powerful striker, but his strikes does add up, kind of like a Max Holloway. His shit does add up, and he will, in my opinion, end up getting the late round 4 knockout against Michael Costa. We also have to watch out for Michael Costa's gas tank. He did end up having 2 round 1 knockouts, and he's fighting in a 5-round fight. His gas tank is gonna look interesting. I can see a late round. I'm gonna go round 5 knockout. I'm gonna go late round 5 knockout for Allen. I think it's viable. I think it's there for him, and I think he is gonna beat Michael Costa. But yeah, that's gonna do it for my picks. Now, before I end this video, I do want to give you guys my play of the week, and I need to give you guys the best odds play of the week. Fuck, man. It needs to be right. Fuck it. My play of the week is Nikolay Veretennikov. I think this is good money. I think he beats Khaos Williams on the feet. I think he's better than him. I think he'll look better in the clinch. I think he'll look amazing in the clinch. He has some nasty shots on the clinch. As long as he doesn't get taken down, which he probably won't against Khaos Williams, he's going to look nasty. He's going to probably get the knockout. And I think Nikolay Veretennikov is live here for a knockout. And yeah, that will do it for my video. That was my play of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys can like and subscribe, it means a lot to me, and it keeps me motivated to push out better content for you guys. That will do for me. I hope you guys have a good week, and God bless.